What if I told you that the true gateway to manifestation isn't about wealth, cars, or fame, but about something far more powerful: peace? Imagine training your mind so deeply that inner calm becomes your natural state, and from that calm, everything else in life begins to align. What if peace itself is the foundation that unlocks every other form of manifestation? This may sound mysterious, even unbelievable, but the science and mysticism of Jacobo Grinberg point exactly in this direction. Jacobo Grinberg was not your ordinary researcher. He was a Mexican psychologist, neuroscientist, and mystic who devoted his life to studying consciousness. While most scientists looked outward, measuring the physical world, Jacobo turned his focus inward, to the mind, to perception, to the hidden dimensions of reality itself. He asked questions that shook the very foundation of what we believe is real. What if reality is not fixed, but woven moment by our consciousness? And if that's true, then what happens when you train your mind to weave peace into the very fabric of existence? Grinberg's work became known through what he called the synergic theory. At its core, it suggested that reality is not a rigid structure, but a field of possibilities. Our brain doesn't just perceive this field, it interacts with it, shaping it. The way you think, feel, and focus directly influences the world you experience. This is not the kind of manifestation you hear tossed around lightly. This is manifestation backed by a lifetime of research, indigenous wisdom, and bold experiments that blended science with spirituality. Here's where it gets fascinating. Jacobo Grinberg didn't only study meditation or psychology. He sought out shamans across Mexico. He lived with them, observed their rituals, and tried to understand how they accessed altered states of consciousness. He believed that the wisdom of these traditions held the missing keys to understanding the mind. Many of his encounters revealed that shamans could shift perception so radically that they seemed to bend the rules of reality itself. These weren't just stories, they were case studies, documented by a scientist who risked everything to explore the mysteries of the mind. And yet, Grinberg's work remains one of the lesser-known treasures in the world of manifestation. Why? Because his path was not about quick fixes. It was about discipline, silence, and a willingness to face the mind fully. He taught that peace isn't just a feeling you get during a calm moment. It is a trained state of consciousness, and once you achieve it, once peace becomes your inner foundation, then manifestation stops being a struggle. Life begins to flow. Reality begins to respond. But here's the suspenseful twist. Jacobo Grinberg mysteriously disappeared in 1994. To this day, no one knows what happened to him. Some believe he was silenced because his research threatened powerful structures. Others whisper that he crossed into another dimension, living proof of his theories. Whatever the truth, his disappearance only deepens the mystery, and his teachings continue to inspire seekers around the world. In this video, you are going to discover how to use Grinberg's unique approach to manifestation. You'll learn why peace is not just the absence of conflict, but the ultimate creative power. You'll see how your thoughts and emotions interact with the field of reality, and most importantly, you'll walk away with practical ways to train your mind so you can manifest peace, and through that peace, attract the life you truly desire. So stay with me until the very end, because the final insights will tie everything together in a way you may have never heard before. This is not about manifesting from chaos or fear. This is about stepping into the ultimate gateway: peace as power, peace as creation, peace as your truest manifestation tool. Welcome to Awakened Synchronicity, where we dive into the hidden teachings of great minds like Jacobo Grinberg. If you're ready to explore the unseen dimensions of reality and unlock the forgotten power within you, then you are in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and join us, because together we're not just learning, we're awakening. Before we talk about the techniques and practices, we need to pause for a moment and get clear on what exactly we mean by manifestation and what we mean by peace. These two words are often used casually, but Jacobo Grinberg approached them with much more depth. To him, they were not just abstract ideas, they were living realities that could be trained, shaped, and experienced in ways most people never imagine. When most people hear the word manifestation, they think of attracting material things, money, a house, a new job, maybe even a relationship. It's the popular idea that you can focus on something hard enough, and somehow it shows up in your life. But in its simplest form, manifestation is really about turning thoughts and intentions into reality. It's about the mysterious bridge between the invisible world inside your mind and the visible world you live in every day. Jacobo Grinberg's work pointed again and again to this bridge. He believed that our consciousness doesn't just observe reality, it interacts with it, influences it, and in some ways builds it. Manifestation, then, is not magic. It is a natural result of a mind in dialogue with reality itself. But if manifestation is the act of shaping reality, then what about peace? Peace is not just the absence of war, arguments, or noise. Peace, in the way Grinberg understood it, is a state of inner balance. It is the quieting of the restless waves inside the mind. It is harmony between your thoughts, your emotions, and your body. When you are at peace, you are not trying to push reality, and you are not fighting against it either. You are centered, calm, and able to see clearly. Peace feels like a deep breath that doesn't end, a soft inner space where nothing is missing and nothing needs to be forced. Now, here is where the two ideas come together in a powerful way. Most people try to manifest from a place of lack. They want money because they feel poor. They want love because they feel lonely. They want success because they feel small. And so their manifestation becomes a struggle. But Jacobo Grinberg's perspective flips this completely. He suggested that the true gateway to manifestation is not lack, it's peace. When you align your mind with peace, you stop chasing and start resonating. Instead of forcing reality, you begin to harmonize with it, and reality in turn harmonizes with you. Think about it like this. When your mind is chaotic, filled with fear or doubt, it projects that chaos outward. Your perception narrows, your decisions become reactive, and your environment reflects the turbulence you carry within. But when your mind is peaceful, it projects clarity and openness. You notice opportunities you would have missed. You interact with others in calmer, kinder ways. You respond instead of reacting. Slowly, your environment begins to mirror that inner calm. This is manifestation, not in the superficial sense of getting random objects, but in the deeper sense of shaping the quality of your entire experience. Grinberg described reality as a vast field of information, constantly shifting and alive. Your brain is like a filter, tuning in to a small piece of this field. What you experience as life is shaped by the way your mind tunes that field. When you are anxious or angry, your filter closes down, limiting what you can access. When you are peaceful, the filter opens, allowing more of reality's possibilities to flow into your awareness. This is why peace is not just a nice feeling, it is a key to manifestation. It is the state of mind that aligns you with the full richness of reality. Manifesting peace, then, is not only about personal comfort, it is about alignment. When your thoughts, your emotions, and your body are all tuned toward calm, you create harmony inside yourself. That harmony extends outward into your environment. People around you feel it. Situations unfold with less resistance. Life begins to flow instead of fight. In Grinberg's terms, peace is not passive. It is creative. It is the most powerful energy you can radiate because it organizes chaos into order, within and without. So when we talk about training the mind, we're not only talking about training it to get things, we are talking about training it to become peaceful, because that peace itself becomes the gateway through which manifestation naturally happens. The question is not, can I manifest? The question is, what state of mind am I manifesting from? Jacobo Grinberg's answer was clear. If you want true manifestation, start with peace. And when you learn how to manifest peace, everything else will follow. Jacobo Grinberg often challenged us to look at reality in a completely different way. He suggested that what we call the world is not a rigid structure existing independently of us, but something far more fluid. Reality, according to him, is not fixed. It is alive, it is shifting, and it responds to consciousness. This means that what we think, what we feel, and what we focus on are not just private, invisible experiences locked inside our heads. They interact with the very fabric of existence. Your mind and reality are in constant dialogue, and together they co-create the life you experience. If that sounds mysterious, let's make it simple. Imagine walking into a room where you feel nervous, tense, and closed off. You will see the room differently. You may notice the smallest negative details, interpret people's glances as judgment, and feel as though the space is hostile. But if you walk into the same room with a calm, confident, peaceful mind, everything changes. You notice warmth, you feel welcomed, you perceive opportunities. The room didn't change, you did. And because you changed, reality appeared different. Grinberg's view was that this shift is not only in your perception, it actually alters the interaction between you and the field of reality itself. Your internal state is not a background, it is the lens and sometimes even the paintbrush that colors your external world. This is why manifestation is not only about visualizing what you want, but about transforming the state of being from which you perceive and create. Peace is not a reward at the end of manifestation. It is the starting point, the fuel that powers it. When you radiate peace inwardly, your outer life begins to organize itself in harmony with that vibration. So how do you begin to train your mind to step into this dynamic co-creation with reality? Grinberg's insights point us to several key principles that act as guiding pillars. The first principle is focus and intention. The mind left on autopilot is scattered, distracted, and noisy. In this state, your thoughts pull reality in 100 different directions and no clear pattern emerges. Focus is the ability to aim your awareness like a beam of light, steady and precise. Intention is the clarity of purpose behind that light. Together, they give shape to your interaction with reality. Training your mind to focus doesn't mean forcing it into stillness. It means choosing one direction, one clear thought, and holding it long enough to let it imprint the field around you. The second principle is emotional alignment. Thoughts alone do not carry the full force of manifestation. They must be charged with feeling. Grinberg believed that the brain and consciousness interact with the field of reality through more than logic. They interact through resonance. If you think about peace but feel anxious, the message is scrambled. But if you not only think about peace but also feel it as though it is already here, you begin to resonate with that state. The field responds to resonance. Training your emotions to align with your intentions is like tuning an instrument to the right pitch. When the sound is pure, the harmony is unmistakable. The third principle is detachment and trust. This may be the hardest for many people. When you desperately cling to a desire, you create tension. That tension becomes resistance, and resistance blocks flow. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you release the anxious grip and trust the process. You allow reality to unfold without constant interference. Think of planting a seed. You don't dig it up every hour to see if it's growing. You water it, trust the soil, and let time do its work. The same is true with manifestation. Peace arrives when you no longer demand it frantically, but allow it to arise naturally from the quiet strength of your practice. The fourth principle is consistency and discipline. One moment of peace is beautiful, but the mind must be trained through repetition. Discipline doesn't mean rigidity or punishment. It means showing up for yourself every day in small ways. 5 minutes of quiet breathing, a simple affirmation, a brief moment of gratitude. These daily acts train the mind just as exercise trains the body. Over time, the small practices accumulate and peace becomes less of an effort and more of a natural state. Now, let's look at some practical techniques that help bring these principles to life. One of the most direct methods is meditation, or quiet time. Grinberg often emphasized the importance of inner silence. When you sit with your breath, letting thoughts pass like clouds, you begin to quiet the constant chatter of the mind. This silence is not empty. It is alive, filled with the potential to reshape perception. Even 5 minutes of focused breathing can begin to reset your inner state and open the door to peace. Another tool is the use of affirmations or mantras. These are simple, peace-based phrases repeated with focus and sincerity. For example, I am calm. Peace flows through me. When repeated daily, especially in moments of quiet, they reprogram the subconscious mind. The power lies not in the words alone, but in the emotion you charge them with. They become seeds of peace planted in your consciousness. Visualization is another powerful practice. The brain responds to imagery almost as strongly as it does to actual experience. By imagining a calm scene, a still lake, a warm light surrounding you, or simply the sensation of being deeply at ease, you create a mental rehearsal for peace. When practiced regularly, the body and mind begin to recognize this imagined peace as real, and they respond by generating it more often in daily life. Journaling acts as a form of mental cleanup. By writing down your thoughts and noticing patterns of negativity, fear, or inner conflict, you make the unconscious visible. Once visible, these thoughts can be released. Journaling is not about judgment, but about gentle awareness. Each time you release a negative thought on paper, you create more space for peace to take root. A simple yet profound technique is shifting attention. Whenever a negative thought or emotion arises, instead of fighting it, you gently shift focus toward peace. It may be as small as taking a deep breath, remembering a calming image, or repeating a peaceful phrase. Over time, this shift becomes a habit, and your mind learns to return to peace more quickly, even in stressful moments. But of course, the path is not always smooth. There are blocks and resistances that almost everyone encounters. Fear, doubt, old wounds, and the harsh voice of inner criticism can all interrupt the process. Grinberg acknowledged these not as failures, but as natural parts of the human mind. The way forward is through gentle acceptance. Instead of battling these blocks, meet them with compassion. Recognize them, breathe into them, and remind yourself that they are temporary. Self-compassion becomes a key here. When you slip into doubt or feel overwhelmed, treat yourself with kindness instead of harshness. Imagine speaking to yourself as you would to a close friend. This softens resistance and allows peace to re-enter more easily. Sometimes, small acts of self-care, rest, nature, a warm bath, a moment of stillness, can repair the cracks that doubt leaves behind. A practical reset method is simple. Breathe, pause, refocus. Whenever you notice yourself spiraling into negativity, stop for a moment. Take 3 deep breaths. Allow your body to settle, then gently redirect your focus back to peace. This doesn't erase the challenge, but it interrupts the momentum of negativity and reopens the door to calm. How do you know when manifestation is beginning to work? When peace is truly arriving? There are signs, and they often appear subtly at first. You may notice inner calm, even in stressful situations. Where you once reacted with anger or fear, you now find yourself pausing, breathing, and responding with clarity. You may also see changes in your relationships. Better harmony with others is a natural reflection of inner peace. Conversations flow more smoothly, conflicts resolve more easily. People may even comment that you seem calmer, more centered, or easier to be around. Another sign is fewer angry reactions or conflicts in your daily life. The outer world reflects your inner state, and as you cultivate peace, the frequency of external turmoil often decreases. It doesn't mean life becomes perfect, but your relationship with challenges shifts. You meet them with steadiness instead of chaos. These changes, though small at first, are proof that your consciousness and reality are interacting differently. They are evidence that Jacobo Grinberg's vision of the mind-reality connection is not just theory but lived experience. Through focus, emotional alignment, trust, discipline, and practical techniques, you begin to reshape not only your perception but the very quality of your existence. Peace becomes more than a momentary feeling, it becomes the field from which you live and manifest. Once you begin to taste the first signs of peace and see how it reshapes your daily life, the next question naturally arises: how can you deepen and expand the practice? Jacobo Grinberg's vision was never limited to short exercises done in isolation. He saw consciousness as something vast and collective, and he understood that peace, once awakened in an individual, could extend far beyond them. One of the most powerful ways to deepen manifestation is through group intention or collective consciousness. Grinberg studied how multiple minds, when aligned on a single focus, could amplify their effect on reality. Imagine several people sitting together, all holding the same peaceful image, all breathing in harmony, all radiating calm into the space around them. The collective focus strengthens the field, making the experience of peace more intense and often easier to sustain. You don't even need a physical group to experience this. Even knowing that others around the world are meditating at the same time can create a sense of belonging and shared strength. Consciousness is not confined by walls or distance. When multiple people focus together, the ripple moves further and faster. Another way to expand the practice is through periods of extended stillness or retreats. Daily life can be filled with interruptions and noise. A retreat, whether for a few days or even a single day of silence, gives the mind and body a chance to reset deeply. Grinberg valued silence not as an absence, but as a presence, something alive that reveals dimensions of reality hidden by constant thought. Extended stillness allows you to step out of the mechanical rhythm of everyday habits and sink into the deeper layers of peace. Many people who spend even one weekend in silence notice that time slows down, awareness sharpens, and peace becomes tangible. It is like diving beneath the surface waves into the still ocean beneath. But peace is not meant to stay on a meditation cushion or within the walls of a retreat. The true test and reward come with integration into daily life. Grinberg emphasized that consciousness shapes reality moment by moment. This means that work, relationships, and ordinary interactions are all arenas where peace can be practiced. Imagine carrying the same calm breath you use in meditation into a stressful meeting. Imagine listening to a friend's anger with a quiet mind that does not rush to defend or attack. Integration means you no longer separate spiritual practice from real life. Everything becomes practice, and every moment becomes an opportunity to manifest peace. As peace grows within you, it naturally begins to extend outward, creating a ripple effect. Others notice it, even if you don't speak about it. Your calm presence in a room shifts the energy. A gentle word when someone is upset can de-escalate a conflict. Your refusal to react with anger can inspire others to soften. Grinberg believed that this ripple effect is one of the most powerful contributions an individual can make. By manifesting peace within, you contribute to the collective consciousness. Each act of peace influences the field of reality shared by all of us. This is how individual practice becomes collective healing. Of course, deepening the practice requires balance. There are cautions worth remembering. The first is not to force or over-control. Trying too hard to make peace happen often creates more tension. Peace is a state of allowing, not a state of gripping. Forcing the mind into silence is like trying to still water by pressing it with your hands. It only stirs up more waves. Instead, approach practice gently. Let peace arrive naturally as you create the conditions for it. Another caution is to avoid toxic positivity. Peace is not about pretending everything is fine when it isn't. Life will bring sadness, anger, grief, and fear. Manifesting peace does not mean denying these emotions. It means holding them with compassion, allowing them to pass without letting them dominate you. True peace embraces the full spectrum of human experience. It does not reject the negative but integrates it into a larger harmony. When you accept emotions instead of suppressing them, they lose their sharp edge, and peace has room to return. It's also important to recognize that external events often require action. Manifestation is not about closing your eyes and wishing the world would change. If a situation calls for a decision, a boundary, or direct effort, those actions are part of the manifestation process. Peace does not mean passivity. It means approaching action with clarity and balance, without panic or aggression. Grinberg understood that consciousness interacts with reality, but he never suggested that action should disappear. Instead, he pointed toward a partnership, consciousness guiding action, and action reinforcing consciousness. And finally, manifestation is a tool, not a magical guarantee. Life is complex. The field of reality contains many influences, not just your own. Manifesting peace does not mean every problem vanishes instantly. It means you cultivate the most powerful inner state possible, one that allows you to meet challenges with wisdom and strength. Sometimes outcomes shift quickly, other times they take patience. The purpose is not to control life completely, but to learn how to flow with it in a state of harmony. At this stage, it is helpful to recap the steps we've explored so far. Everything begins with intention. What you choose to focus on sets the direction of your consciousness. Then comes emotional alignment, the ability to not just think about peace, but to feel it as though it already exists. After that comes the essential act of letting go, trusting instead of clinging, releasing the need to control. And all of this requires daily practice, small but steady. These steps, intention, alignment, letting go, and discipline, form the path. But always remember, the ultimate goal is peace itself. Manifestation is not about collecting objects. It is about manifesting the quality of life that allows everything else to flow. So here is an invitation for you to try something simple. Set aside 5 minutes each day to focus only on peace. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and repeat a phrase such as, "Peace is here within me now." Let yourself feel the calm as though it already surrounds you. Don't analyze, don't force. Just breathe and allow. If you do this consistently, you will begin to notice small shifts, more patience, lighter interactions, a deeper sense of ease. Patience and consistency are the keys. A single session will not transform your life overnight, but day after day these moments of peace accumulate. They build strength in the mind and softness in the heart. Over time they reshape how you experience reality. And as you walk this path, share your journey. Speak about the changes you notice. Leave a comment, share your experience, or simply write it down for yourself. Each story contributes to the collective exploration of peace. And stay tuned, because this journey does not end here. In the next exploration, we will dive even deeper into Grinberg's advanced practices, exploring the edges of consciousness and the mysteries of the field of reality. What you've discovered so far is only the beginning. Peace is the gateway. But beyond it lies an even greater landscape waiting to be explored. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to pause for just a moment and take a deep breath. Feel the simple act of breathing as a reminder that peace is never far away. It isn't something outside of you, waiting to be found in the future. It is already within you, quietly waiting for your attention. Jacobo Grinberg devoted his life to showing us that consciousness is not just a passive observer of reality. It is an active participant. The state of your mind shapes the quality of your life. When you train your mind to hold peace, you are not only changing yourself, you are changing the way the world responds to you. Think about that for a moment. So many of us spend years searching for the right circumstances, the right people, the right opportunities. We believe that if the outside changes, then we will finally feel calm and fulfilled inside. But Grinberg's research and wisdom turn this thinking on its head. He shows us that the real power lies in beginning within. When you learn to manifest peace in your thoughts and emotions, you create a foundation that no external event can shake. From that foundation, life begins to reorganize itself. Relationships soften, opportunities appear, conflicts resolve more easily, and your days take on a lighter, more harmonious rhythm. This is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about facing them from a state of balance instead of chaos. Peace does not mean you stop acting, striving, or creating. It means you act from clarity, from centeredness, from alignment with something greater than fear. It means that no matter what storm arrives, you remain rooted, steady, and connected to the deeper field of reality that Grinberg described, a field where all possibilities exist and where your consciousness has the power to choose harmony over disorder. So the final message I want to leave you with is this: you have the power. Train your mind, manifest peace within. Let it flow outward. This is not only a gift you give yourself, but a gift you give the world. Every moment of peace you create inside radiates outward in ways you may never fully see. It influences your family, your friends, your community, and even strangers who cross your path. The ripple effect is real. The work you do within is not only for you, it is for all of us. If this message resonated with you, then I encourage you to take a small but powerful step today. Choose one practice, whether it's 5 minutes of quiet breathing, a peaceful affirmation, or simply noticing and releasing a negative thought, and commit to it daily. Watch how even the smallest acts of discipline grow into lasting transformation. And before we close, I want to thank you for spending this time here, for opening your mind and heart to these ideas, and for walking this path of awakening with me. Your presence matters. Your willingness to learn, to experiment, and to share your journey makes a difference. Together, we are not just individuals seeking peace. We are a collective field of consciousness moving toward a more harmonious world. If you found value in this video, please take a moment to support the channel, like this video, subscribe to Awaken Synchronicity, and share it with someone who might need this message today. Your support helps this community grow and ensures that these teachings continue to reach those who are ready to awaken to their own power. Remember, manifestation is not about forcing reality to bend to your will. It is about aligning with peace so deeply that reality naturally responds. Carry this truth with you as you move forward and let it be your compass. Peace is the ultimate manifestation, and it is already within you, waiting to be trained, nurtured, and shared. Thank you for watching, thank you for being here, and thank you for being part of this awakening.